Good morning, students. Today we can see the law of combinations. So in the law of combinations we are having the four types. So the law of conservation of mass, law of constant proportion, law of multiple proportion, and the fourth one is Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. So first, law of conservation of mass. So the next one, law of constant proportion. So the third one is law of multiple proportion, and the fourth one Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume. So in this class, we have in this lesson for the first two, the law of conservation of mass and the law of constant proportion. So we are going to study this two only. This two you will be studying in your higher classes. First we are going to see the law of conservation of mass. So the law of conservation of mass, that is which is relating the mass of reactants and the products during the chemical change. So what is it? Mass which is relating the mass of reactants. Mass of reactants mass of reactants and products. So during the chemical change. So this is the law of conservation of mass, and this is this was stated by the French chemist, that is Lavoisier. Lavoisier in the year of 1774. The Lavoisier is the father of chemistry. He is the father of chemistry. He stated in the year 1774. So what it states means, it states that is during any chemical change, the total mass of the products that is equal to the total mass of the reactants. So here we saw the product and the reactant. So this it should be equal. The mass of the product that is equal to the mass of the reactants. So that is the law of conservation of mass. So in the other words, how we can say means, the law of conservation, that means neither it can be created nor it can be destroyed. It can be created or destroyed. Created or destroyed, that is during the any chemical reactions. So this law is otherwise we can say as the indestructibility of mass. Indestructibility of mass. So this is the law of conservation of mass. So next we can see the law of constant proportions. So the law of constant proportion, that was proposed by the scientist, that is Joseph Proust, and the year of 1779. And what he says means, he states that pure chemical compound elements that is always present in a definite proportions by mass. So that elements that is always present in a definite proportions. Compound, the chemical compound, the elements are always present in a definite proportions. It is a definite proportions by mass. So this scientist, what he observed means that all the components that is having two or more elements, and he noticed that each component that it will be having the same elements in the same proportion. So the same proportions irrespective of where the component that is came from the otherwise who prepared, so that everything will be equal. For example, the water, so that is obtained from the different sources like rain, well, sea, then river. So this always will consist of the same two elements. So water is the same, but it is obtained from the different of the sources. Then what it will be consist, the two elements means, that is hydrogen and oxygen. That is hydrogen and oxygen. So that is in the ratio of 1:8. That is 1:8. So by mass. So this hydrogen and oxygen having, that is the 1:8 by mass. So similarly the mode of the preparation may be different, but their composition will be that it will not never change. So whatever it may be, but they will be having the constant proportions. So this it will be having this 1:8 is a fixed ratio for the hydrogen and the oxygen. So hence this law is called as a law. This also we can say as a law of definite proportions. Law of definite proportions. So this is the law of constant proportions. Thank you, students.